Kanto is home to some of the most iconic creatures ever seen in the Pokémon world. Some, like Charizard, rule the skies and make even the land recoil before their fire. Some of these creatures rule the freshwater lakes, while in the salt of the sea, entire ecosystems thrive. In the humid forests, there is still room for delicacy, for connection, and yet, in those same forests, duels are born. Here, 151 unique creatures have occupied every route, every cave, every river, every stretch of sky. And among them all, some seem to defy nature's very logic, rarer, more improbable, almost like beautiful mistakes of creation. They are the shiny forms. Today, we will explore all 151 original Pokémon in their shiny versions. Bulbasaur prefers quiet, sunlit clearings. When threatened, it uses its vines for defense. Ivysaur seeks fertile, sun-drenched soil. It trains in sunny fields, absorbing energy from the sun. Venusaur dominates territories where light is abundant. As it spreads pollen, it makes one thing clear: the forest has a guardian. Charmander reveals its health and mood through the flame on its tail. It trains constantly to increase its power. Charmeleon is impulsive, always seeking fights to test its strength. Even at a disadvantage, it never backs down from battle. Charizard patrols mountainous territories and rules the skies of Kanto. When it unleashes its hottest flames, it is capable of melting even rock. Squirtle spends hours resting on rocks by the water, warming its shell in the sun. When threatened, it fires bursts of water to defend itself. Wartortle swims against strong currents, strengthening both its body and its experience. Blastoise turns its own body into a moving fortress. Its powerful hydrojets can carve stone, and in territorial conflicts, a single blast can end the dispute. Caterpie crawls across low leaves in search of food. When cornered, it releases a strong odor to drive off the threat. Metapod remains motionless for most of its life. It depends on the hardness of its shell to survive until evolution. Butterfree pollinates entire fields of flowers. In groups, they perform coordinated flights, forming shimmering clouds of powder that confuse hunters. Weedle carries a venomous stinger on its head. Kakuna may seem vulnerable, but it is rarely attacked. That is because swarms of Beedrill defend their nests with impressive coordination. At high speed, they attack anything that comes too close to their colony. Pidgey stays hidden as it hunts small insects. Pidgeotto patrols vast territories in search of larger prey. Pidgeot is one of the great predators of Kanto's skies. Rattata lives near human roots, taking advantage of leftover food. Raticate seeks out abandoned houses as shelter. It gnaws on wood to sharpen its teeth for battle. Spearow is noisy and territorial. In groups, they attack in a flurry of pecks and wing strikes. Fearow rules over vast stretches of sky. When it hunts, it dives from impressive heights, piercing the surface of the water with its beak. Ekans coils around branches to watch and hunt. When Arbok spreads its hood, its threatening patterns can freeze opponents in place. It wraps around its target and squeezes with calculated force. Pikachu stores electricity in its cheeks, which glow before a discharge. In groups, it can create small, synchronized thunderclaps. Raichu releases even higher voltages, channeling energy through its tail. On stormy nights, it recharges its power with lightning. Sandshrew digs tunnels where the temperature is more stable. Sandslash sharpens its claws on rocks, always ready to dig or fight. Nidoran female has spines that contain mild toxins for defense. Nidorina forms a defensive line with spines and carefully timed charges. Nidoqueen is the guardian of the nest, using her robust body to block entrances. Her greatest purpose is to protect her young. Nidoran male uses his venomous horns in disputes over territory and mates. When angered, Nidorino charges in a straight line, turning its horn into a living spear. Nidoking is extremely territorial. It likes to assert its presence and strength. Clefairy is most active on nights of the full moon. Clefable lives in remote areas, where silence is almost absolute. Vulpix releases small bursts of flame into the air with remarkable precision. Ninetales is surrounded by stories of great longevity and sharp intelligence. It is known for both its beauty and its power. Jigglypuff loves to sing. Wigglytuff is cute and loves to wander through the forest. In territorial disputes, it inflates its body to appear larger. Zubat can fly in any direction using its sonar. Golbat has sharp fangs and a large appetite. It sleeps in groups for protection. Oddish spends the day buried, absorbing nutrients. Gloom gives off a strong scent, either attracting other Pokémon or driving them away. Vileplume carries a heavy flower filled with spores. Paras lives in symbiosis with the fungi on its back. In Parasect, the fungus completely takes over the body. Venonat moves through the forest at night, spreading poison. Venomoth prefers areas lit by artificial light, where smaller insects tend to gather. Diglett is rarely seen in full. Only its head appears above the surface. Dugtrio acts as though it were a single organism. Meowth is drawn to shiny objects, collecting them whenever it can. Persian usually commands small groups. Psyduck lives in a state of constant confusion, often massaging its own head. Golduck is extremely protective of young Psyduck. Mankey is explosive. Any provocation can turn into a fight. Primeape takes fury to another level, training constantly. One of its greatest pleasures is battling strong Pokémon. Growlithe is loyal and protective within its territory. Arcanine can run at legendary speeds without tiring. Poliwag likes muddy areas and hides at the slightest sound. Poliwhirl seems to hypnotize anyone who stares at it. Poliwrath swims against the current to strengthen its body. Abra sleeps almost all the time, but instinctively teleports when it senses danger. Kadabra carries a spoon that amplifies its psychic powers. Alakazam has an extremely developed brain, capable of processing multiple strategies in seconds. Its psychic power is immense. Machop trains by lifting rocks and logs, even at a young age. Machoke is often used in construction and other heavy tasks. With 4 arms, Machamp can attack and defend at the same time. Bellsprout is far more agile than it appears. Weepinbell sways while hanging from branches, waiting for food to come closer. Victreebel attracts the curious with a sweet scent. It uses its vines to paralyze its prey. Tentacool floats near the surface of the sea, almost invisible. Tentacruel commands entire groups in coastal waters. Geodude rests among rocks, confusing distracted travelers. Graveler loves a good fight. Golem has an almost impenetrable rocky shell. Ponyta's flames react to its emotions and its speed. Rapidash is a spectacle in motion, swift and powerful. Slowpoke seems unaware of the world. Slowbro possesses both aquatic and psychic mastery. Magnemite floats through the air, drawn to electric fields and power lines. As a single body, Magneton is often seen during storms. Farfetch'd carries a stalk as both a weapon and a tool. Doduo runs across open fields, each head watching a different direction. Dodrio patrols vast land territories. In flight or pursuit, its powerful legs kick up clouds of dust. Seal lives across great icy plains. Dugong is capable of creating freezing currents to maintain the local temperature. Grimer searches for food in polluted areas. Muck can transform entire habitats through infection, directly damaging the soil. Shelder clings to rocks, resisting strong waves as it waits for Slowpoke. Cloyster lives in colder depths where few can reach. Ghastly appears in ruins and cemeteries surrounded by toxic gas. Haunter is bolder, approaching living beings to observe their reactions of fear. Gengar feeds on shadows and the fear of others. It uses darkness as its main weapon, whether to attack or simply amuse itself. Onyx moves through underground tunnels, shaping Kanto's geology with its movement. Drowsy approaches those who are sleepy, feeding on their dreams. Hypno can perform a form of hypnosis in battle. Krabby lives on rocky shores, raising its claws as a warning signal. Kingler uses its giant claw as both a weapon and a tool. Voltorb appears in electric environments and in places filled with spherical objects. Electrode is known for resembling an inverted Pokeball. Execute is a group of conscious seeds that stays together. Executor thrives in sunny climates, growing tall and robust. Cubone mourns in silence. On quiet nights, its cries echo through the valley. Marowak uses its bone like a boomerang. Hitmonlee is a specialist in kicking with powerful legs. Hitmonchan trains its punches as a disciplined art. Lickitung explores the world with its long tongue. Coughing floats surrounded by poisonous gases. In polluted places, Wheezing finds an abundance of food. Rhyhorn charges in a straight line, unconcerned with obstacles. Rhydon can cause earthquakes with its hands. Chansey is always willing to help others. Tangela is a living tangle of vines, hiding its true body. Kangaskhan will always place its young above everything else. Horsey hides among coral until it develops and grows stronger. Seadra prefers strong currents, where its precise swimming stands out. Goldeen swims with elegance, its horn cutting through the water. Seaking patrols rivers and lakes, especially during the breeding season. Staryu glows faintly beneath the water and rarely moves much. Starmie radiates psychic power from the gem at its center. Stamime creates invisible barriers with precise gestures. Scyther has extremely sharp blades on its arms. Jinx dances to hypnotic rhythms in frozen regions. Electabuzz is drawn to power plants and thunderstorms. Magmar inhabits volcanic areas where the air is dense and hot. Pinsir climbs tree trunks with ease, ambushing prey from above. Tauros move in herds, making the ground shake like an earthquake. Magikarp possesses surprising endurance. Gyarados usually dominate entire lakes as their own territory. Lapras carries groups across its shell, crossing the seas with serenity. Ditto is very curious and friendly. It copies the form of any creature it observes. Eevee has a unique genetic makeup that allows for multiple evolutions. Vaporeon are guardians of the water. Jolteon stores electricity in its fur, which rises into energized needles. Flareon stores internal heat at extreme levels. Porygon is an artificial Pokémon that seems to defy physics. Omanite still carries traces of an ancient sea. Omastar once hunted and ruled the waters in a very different age. Kabuto lives on sandy seafloors, burying itself to stay hidden. Kabutops uses the sharp blades on its arms to cut through the water. Aerodactyl once ruled the high and turbulent skies. Snorlax sleeps wherever food is abundant, blocking entire paths. Articuno can create snowstorms with the beat of its wings. Zapdos is born from storms, dwelling within charged clouds. Moltres lights up the night, leaving behind a trail of embers. Dratini lives hidden in deep lakes and secret currents. Dragonair glides through water and air with ethereal elegance. Dragonite is rare and powerful, ruling both sky and land. Created in a laboratory from an ancient power, Mewtwo carries immense psychic potential. Mew is elusive, seen only in the rarest of moments. It is said to hold within itself the genetic foundation of all Pokémon. Did you enjoy the episode? Would you like to see the next region in its shiny forms? Comment below and see you next time.